Alrighty, welcome back everybody to the live stream. We've got Max here and I'm Angie. Welcome, welcome.
Hi guys.
We've got Colony Pillage playing against Melbourne Juggernaut. So
This should be a good game.
Colony's in their dark strip and Juggernaut are in their light strip.
Looks like Melbourne Juggernaut will be coming out on defense to start the game. We've got beautiful conditions here. Afternoon sun, nice cool temperature. We've got a very slight breeze coming left to right and a little bit away from the camera. But shouldn't be anything too severe. Still expect to see some big throws go up.
No, this is great weather for Frisbee. It's nice and sunny, a bit warm considering there's a slight breeze now, so it's pretty much perfect. Ball goes up. Juggernaut looking to come out firing.
And O'Connell doesn't like where it lands, so he kicks it forward a few metres and then picks it up and finds Rob Andrews underneath.
Maroney's
Andrews launches, looking for more.
Oh!
What a start!
Huge.
Though I think Maroney may be saying it was out of the field.
Oh.
The goal will stand.
It looks like the goal stands. He's signaling it's a goal.
If that is any indication of the quality of play we're going to see for the rest of this game,
That is a
viewers,
great way
you
to
are
start
in
the
for
game.
a treat. We get
Here's
another
the
look
replay.
at this. Gav Moore
It's so far in front of him.
manages to lay out while towing it into the field. Great play.
That was awesome.
Both of those players just demonstrating why they're on the Crocs team. We've got some results from this morning. Colony Pillage so far undefeated today.
Oh, excellent.
They went up over Fishwick Unit, 15-9 this morning. And then it beat Melbourne Chili 15-13 in a close one. So far undefeated. I'm sure Melbourne Juggernaut will be keen to change that. As we had another look at that play, that was truly
That
spectacular.
was awesome.
I could watch that all day.
Definitely one for the highlight reel. Great grab.
Melbourne Juggernaut went down to Hot Chili this morning, and then beat Brunch earlier on the stream. Interestingly, they went down to Chile, which is a team that Plunder has beaten today, which may indicate that Plunder is the favourite coming into this matchup.
Non with the pull, giving them loads of time to come down. Nice crossfield, Wise on disc, out the field. Ashcroft on disc now. Back to Wise, hammer overhead. Oh, didn't quite get there.
Despite the bidding effort of the Melbourne player, Colony will pick up now. Setting up in a vertical stack. Looks like
match
Cho
defense.
will be out in the lane. Will Norton picking up. He's got a heavily strapped up, braced up left knee, so we'll see if that affects his movement around the field. Gets out a nice backhand to Gav Moore, coming off the front of the stack.
Oh, nice.
Second effort.
Lovely. Lovely second bid there. Looking to move it off
To
that
Sean
sideline.
Mahoney.
It's coming outside in across the field.
Gav Moore sandwiched by Ash Evans and Brendan Ashcroft not quite able to get up for it.
Ashcroft on disc now, looking to swing it to Wise. Norton's on disc now
Hammers.
with a hammer. Oh!
Xavier Black with a huge layout.
Oh.
Got a full hand to it, and it even looked like he might have caught it before
I
being
think
ground
he
stripped.
almost had control. Looks like a ground strip.
Great effort by him. So far, the standard of this game is incredible. Both teams putting their bodies on the line. They both really want it.
So Wise looking end zone. It goes up into the end zone.
Ooh.
Bit of a misread.
I thought that might have been a goal there, but just sneaks past that outstretched hand of the intended receiver. So we get another look at it.
Watch that again.
He seemed to be able to get there. It was a nice throw.
Yeah.
Maybe-
Just a bit of a misread on that.
Maybe a little bit too far. And Norton will again to the front of the end zone.
Wise looking to force him sideline. Looking long, straight off the bat. Here it comes. Through the disc. Oh. Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's a huge grab.
The number 15 shirt of Sebastian Hardy
Excellent grab.
goes up between two defenders.
Just plucked it out of the air. Made it look so easy. Just walks away.
And that's
And
2-0.
here's a play. So there's Norton on disc. Boom.
Outside in for backhand.
Yep.
Hardy between Ashcroft and another Melbourne
Gets
defender.
up big.
Reads it a little bit better than the other two. Gets up nice and early and takes the grab. Melbourne Juggernaut calling from the sideline to lift now. Not wanting to let Colony get out to too much of a lead here. Colony on defense this point. They have Rob Andrews, looks like he's set up to pull.
Maroney's back on the field for Juggernaut, so let's hope we see some more big plays from him. Here comes the pull.
It's low and it's fast.
Yep. Wise looking to pick that up. Rolled out the side of the end zone, so
Looks
all the way
like
over to the next field, actually. And they've set up a horror stack. There's a swing. Looking for an upfield to Maroney. Looking deep. Back to Maroney. Maroney's there again. Ashcroft. Back to Maroney. Doesn't quite like what he's seeing upfield. Looking to swing. around. Back to Ashcroft, looking to score a goal.
Oh! Rob Andrews with the incredibly athletic layout deep coming from behind.
Maybe a bit of contact there.
Yeah,
was
it
that
looks
a call?
like a foul call.
I think that would have been a foul call. And here's a quick replay. Let's see if we can have a look at that.
Rob Andrews definitely starting well out of position. Having to put in a huge effort to get there, but did have a little bit of contact as he came
some
round.
contact. We'll see how they resolve it.
Looks like it's an uncontested foul, which
All
means Melbourne
Juggernaut with a disc. And for the swing. Lovely. Ashcroft with a goal.
And that's 2-1 to Colony. So we see Nathan Stacey walk towards the line. He asked us to give a quick shout out to his dad who's watching on the stream. So hi, Papa Stacey, if you're out there. Glad to have you on board.
Nice, very nice.
And here's another look at that goal. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Colony coming out on offense this point.
It's a bit of wind picking up. Do you reckon Juggernaut will try anything fancy on defense?
I think they will
Yeah.
at some point in this game, but I don't think they'll do it at this point. I think early days, the legs are still fresh. They'll try a little bit more match defense, I think.
Yep.
But I would definitely expect them also to bring out a zoney or transition-y look at some point.
Yeah, let's see how it goes.
Big outside in pull.
Yep.
It'll be fielded by Nathan Stacey, who will centre it to Rory Connell. Oh, but puts it out in front. A very simple, cheap turnover there.
Juggernaut were really keen to get down there fast and stop that first throw, and it paid off. Foul on that throw.
But
Possibly retracted.
or a play on.
A play on, yep. There was a hand from Wise, but he quickly retracted. Over to Moroney, bodying out his player. Lovely inside throw. There was a call. There was a pick from the stack. Back to Moroney. Good use of hand signals from Colony. Coming in on 5 with Moroney. He's going to look to swing this. High stall count and throws an outside in flick to the back of the end zone. Doesn't quite complete. So Colony back on offense.
Connell will pick it up. Got a little fun fact about Connell. He grew up next door to me.
Ah.
So, and both of us picked up Frisbee completely independently and had no idea that each other played the game until we met at Junior Worlds in 2010. He was there as a volunteer.
Ah, very cool.
Complete surprise. So
you've been playing Frisbee for ages now, is what you're trying to say, Max. Okay, here's a chance for 7 people to go up in a huge group of people.
No calls there.
Gosh.
Despite lots of contact.
That's right.
Gav Moore was the intended target that ended up floating, and a lot of people got underneath
Looking end zone, just out of reach.
and Colony will get another chance. So we get another look at that throw. A little bit too far, especially with the wind coming left to right now. Push the throw a little bit beyond the reach of the intended receiver. Nathan Stacey bringing it up.
Yep. Moroney goes up. Oh, doesn't quite get there.
Stacey going for the high release backhand around.
Oh, it's huge.
And now Rob
He
Andrews
throws a bullet to the end zone.
laser beam to
Big
Gav Moore.
celebration. Great play.
No troubles throwing into the wind there.
That's right.
Just a couple of inches over the defender, but that's all you need. And then straight to Gav Moore for the goal. So you get another look
There's
at
a
it.
replay.
Really
Excellent
only just over the
throw.
defender. But it was
Nice
enough.
celebration. I like me a good celebration. So, fun fact, one of Canberra's women's team's players, Sophie Johns, is tuned in from Canada. So shout out to Sophie Johns for being a baller frisbee player. And we're back in. Juggernaut playing some good-looking offense, shoots it long, gets up, didn't quite get control of that disc. Looked like it was out the back anyway. There's a replay.
Few too many wheat bix this morning, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
That throw just going out the back.
Great cut though.
And David Andrews showing incredible athleticism to get there, though he didn't end up making the D. He's the younger brother of Rob Andrews, whose athleticism and skills are well known and is one of the key players on this Colony team. Will Norton bring it up. Cheeky high release forehand.
That's right.
To Andrews on the break side.
Couple people streaking deep.
O'Mahony, the Irish import, with the around forehand to Black.
Lovely.
Bit of bump and grind on the mark, but they'll play through it. And Andrews with a pretty gratuitous high release forehand to the open side to Cho. Andrews finds his brother. And then David
cheeky.
looks back
right
to his
over the top
brother.
Of his player.
They know how quick each other are.
Great play.
They know you can just put it out in front and rely on the other one to get there, and he does exactly that.
It is
It's a nice
amazing
goal.
when that chemistry is just there.
Yeah, so much trust with the players. They know exactly what each other are capable of. Another look of it.
Definitely.
David Andrews with the disc. Rob trying to get open in the dump space initially.
Yep.
Starts to clear up line.
Looks
And
for him
David-
straight away.
And
Look
David
at
knows
that.
that he's only one place that he's going to. And that's full one. Colony out to a really quick start in this game. Melbourne Juggernaut. Maybe feeling a little bit tired after a long day's frisbee. Or a little bit slow after lunch. Eating one too many sandwiches at lunchtime. But they're going to have to try and switch on a little bit here. Pillage on defense here with Will Norton lining up to take the pull. Rory Connell has ditched the bright red cap in a controversial decision that I'm sure we'll be talking about for years to come.
Oh, definitely. All right. And straight away, there's a huck that goes up. Great grab. Makes it look easy. That's another one on the board for Juggernaut.
How's that for quick offense? 4-2. Colony on offense now. Plenty of experience and skill out there on the line. Gav Moore indicating that they're ready and looking to get this point underway.
Ball goes up. Looks like just match defense.
And Andrews has the disc. Goes to Moore, back to Andrews. Andrews playing a lot of this game in the handler position, as is Moore, despite them both typically being known as big-time deep receivers. As soon as I say that, however,
it's a huge
Moore
hammer
heads to the end zone. And Andrews
man.
cues up a beautiful hammer and unleashes. That's the second time those two have connected for a goal. It's a pretty...
Well, we did say that we
excellent
were looking forward to
connection.
some big plays, so there you have it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Huge hammer point.
Andrews,
Bit of a crowd pleaser.
yeah, giving the crowd what they want. Andrews and Moore deliver the goods. 5-2 to Colony.
Looks like Juggernaut's ready to go. Some of their more dominant players on the field. Norton with the pull for Colony. That's a very nice pull from Norton. They got down there so quick, taking advantage of that pull. They put on that pressure straight away. Making them throw backwards at this point. Wise on disc. Looking for Moroney. Moroney calling players under. Ashcroft streaking deep. Back to Wise. Hammer point. Oh. Oh,
Lucky
dear.
Wise trying to replicate Rob Andrews' throw from previous point.
He had potential. He had a
Ash
bid on
Evans
it.
laying out to try and get there, but unsuccessful.
Evans had a bid for it. I heard Maureen say, it's yours.
So we get another look at it. Big hammer out in front of two players. Moroney letting Evans take the first attempt, but not quite able to connect. And Norton will bring it back up for Colony. They're running a vertical stack, isolating Andrews in the lane and no dump. Immediately go to Reece Stewart at the front of the stack.
Ashcroft.
Is this going to come back in? Oh.
Doesn't come back in.
And in fact, by touching that, I think Andrews means that it'll come in up there.
Did he touch it?
Yeah, thought he got a hand to it and then dropped it.
He was jumping. He was jumping out. He was jumping out
Get another look at
when he made contact with the disc.
His toe was right on the line, very, very close. Difficult to call from here.
I believe it comes in at the top because as he is jumping out, he was still inbounds as he jumped out, and when he made contact, so technically the disc was still live. Big look, straight into Colony's hands. Norton back on disc. Looking big. Not quite there. Ashcroft putting on a pretty big mark there.
Hardy with the disc.
Moroney closing in. Putting lots of pressure on that throw.
Inside out backhand.
Beautiful throw.
Finds Andrews. And Andrews calls a timeout.
Timeout called.
The 80% failure rate. We saw it fail earlier this morning.
Let's see what this game holds for that statistic.
We heard we're hearing from the sideline that Ellipsis scored in the previous game from midpoint timeout, which has probably eaten up the 20% worth of success that's available on any given day of Ultimate.
That's right.
Which means there is a 0% chance that this is a completion. Having said that, it's Rob Andrews with the disc.
That's true. It does depend on the momentum of the game, so maybe a team that's leading who calls that timeout to potentially throw a goal might have more confidence to complete it.
Very, very true, Angie. And Rob Andrews has been doing an absolute mountain of work for Colony so far this game.
Definitely.
Been involved on both sides of the disc, getting some big Ds, as well as some serious offensive firepower, thrown a couple of big goals.
That's right.
Backhands, hammers, you name it, he's got it.
Usually teams that are really needing the point to be scored might be tempted to call a timeout to make sure of it. So it is unusual to see a team leading to call a timeout that close to the end zone. Usually they would just try to work it in quickly, but let's see how this unfolds.
Andrews will pick up. Looks like Connor will set up in the dump space, and Stewart will set up the front of the end zone, completely isolated, with 5 people in the stack.
And Juggernaut will now set up their defense. They've put Ashcroft in the isolated area.
And apologies, Connell wasn't actually on the field. He was just walking back off after the timeout. So it's just Stewart.
That's all right. You're doing great.
Just in front of the disc.
Yep.
We'll see what he can do. Matched up one-on-one against Ashcroft.
Ashcroft is on his back, not giving him anything.
Stewart
Staying
gets
nice
it back
and
around.
close.
Immediately goes up line.
Looking for that give-go.
To Norton now in the dump.
Moroney with a big mark. Oh,
It's
with a bid,
David Andrews.
There was a travel called on that throw. So it's gone back.
Will Norton with the disc.
And now basically a stoppage since it's gone back. All right. He's pretty keen on that open space, but there's a
high release backhand to
high release
Andrews.
back.
Andrews goes to Norton. Norton goes to Stewart.
Play streaming across to stop that open side throw. No mark. all day.
And finds Andrews in the front, who toes it in nicely. Reece Stewart, originally a Brisbane player, moved down to Sydney for a job recently
Cool fun fact.
with his partner Giordano Rock, who we saw playing in the previous game. So we get another look at this. And that was the one that was called back, and now this is the one that was eventually successful. Stewart with lots of time, taking quite a while for the mark to get there. Faking, and finds Andrew at the front of the end zone.
Not going to work, Petrov. That's not going to make you taller.
Sydney now up with that last goal, 6-2. It's a 4-point lead. Rory Connell set to pull.
Yes. Alrighty. Juggernaut working upfield, looking upfield again to Ashcroft. Trying to spread it wide. There was a pick called upfield. So this is coming back in. Great grab. That was a bit of a dishy. He caught it, but he landed outside the field. Colony working hard to make every single catch difficult for Juggernaut.
And Stacey brings it back in, immediately centers to Cho, to Hardy. Hardy with the cheeky hammer to Moore, moving it nice and quickly. Moore shooting deep to Stacey.
Across the field.
Ashcroft making up the ground as only Ashcroft can.
Oh,
and then a huge second effort bid by Nathan Stacey.
That was a huge grab.
Great effort by Ashcroft to get there for the D.
Great defense from Ashcroft. That was a huge grab.
And Nathan Stacey with the incredible horizontal bid on the second effort to hold that one in for the goal. Have another look at that, ladies and gents. Gav Moore.
That's excellent play.
The world turns upside down as the big-time receiver hucks to the handler.
Ashcroft goes up, gets a hand to it.
Ashcroft, incredible effort to make up the distance.
Oh, huge
and then
grab.
Nathan Stacey with an even more incredible effort on the second bid. That was incredible, ladies and gentlemen.
Colony
Stacey
is
gives us a cheeky smile as he walks past the commentary booth as well.
and in fact, Colony is all smiles because nothing like an amazing grab to pump up the team.
It's now 7-2. Colony 1 point away from taking half.
Juggernauts had a huge game, so they're looking a little bit flat, but I reckon they can bring it back.
Brendan Ashcroft, of course, known for his incredible turn of speed. Used to be a highly competitive sprinter.
That's right.
Was, from what I've heard, vying off for a Commonwealth Games spot, the Australian team.
I also heard that.
So extremely competitive.
We are very happy to have him in Ultimate.
We absolutely are.
Wise of the disc, looking at field. Match defense by the looks of things. Calling that he's a thrower. Bit of a grin. Pretty high stall count there. Great movement. That's a hammer. Lovely. Hammer into the end zone for a goal. Juggernaut not going to give up that half so easy.
Seen a fair few hammers come out this game. More than we've seen this whole morning. So
That's
it's good to see.
No complaints from me.
Made for some nice plays there.
Definitely.
And Colin will have to go one more if they want to take half. So we have another look at that. Liu finds Knight. Knight sizes it up. Launches the big hammer to Ash Evans for the goal.
Great play.
Colony now on offense. We've got Gavin Moore, Rob Andrews, Rory Connell, Yueng Ng, Thomas Vo, Nathan Stacey, and
I think they're ready for the pool to go
I
up.
believe that's McCabe as well. Connell to Andrews to Moore. Vo looking deep. Plenty of pace and
Great
plenty
grab.
of hops. Beautiful throw
Great
from
throw.
Gavin Moore. Showing he's not just a deep threat. Got a serious set of throws in his toolbox as well.
That's right.
And that's Colony taking half, 8-3. I think Colony Pillage will be very happy with that half of Ultimate.
Yep. They
Can't
came out
imagine-
firing and they came out on top, so let's hope they keep it up for the next half.
Absolutely. We'll take a quick break and come back.
See you guys soon.
Juggernaut 3. 1, 2, 3. Juggernaut.
Looks like we're almost ready to come out of halftime. Max and I are trying really hard to get some fun facts out of the Colony boys, but nothing yet. Just grins all around.
As we're kicking off the second half with a big pull from Reece Stewart.
Just match defense. Looking deep. Chasing it deep. Looks quite easy. Very comfortable goal.
That's
so
beautiful.
much separation. And another dab celebration on that goal.
Oh dear, ladies and gentlemen, that was the second dab we've seen today, and that's too many, if you ask me.
You've got to celebrate. One way or another, you got to celebrate.
So we get another look at it. Disc in the center of the field. Under, immediately turns and fires. The backhand.
Nice amount of separation. That is a great throw. Straight in front of the receiver. And we got a replay of the dab celebration as well. So you're welcome, folks.
Offensive line for Colony now. We have Vo, Moore, Connell, McCabe, Andrews, and Stacey. Stacey will receive the pull and immediately send it to Connell.
Quick chase from Juggernaut down the field. Bit of a junkie zone look.
Cheeky scuba from Stacey.
Right over the top.
Back to Vo.
Oh.
Back to Moore. Vo
trying to make him
finds a hole through the wall to Andrews on the other side of the field. Goes McCabe. Back to Andrews. Quick movement now. It looks like Hoss has transitioned into man. Andrews
so match defense
goes
now.
Through the mark. Finds Vo. Vo sizes up the hammer.
Wants to throw a hammer.
Goes the lefty backhand to Moore.
Oh.
A little bit too far
That's
out in
a
front.
turn. Maybe he should have thrown the hammer. Another crowd pleaser. So, Juggernaut on offense. Just a standard match from Colony. Colony's match defense has been looking good, so why not stick to the classic? Oh, great grab from Maroney. Doesn't let up. Out the field. Back to Maroney. The Evans brothers are working pretty hard. A team. Great grab. That's right. Speaking of the Evans brothers.
Launches one out the side of the field. Nathan Stacey will bring it back in. Connell setting up in the dump position again. Connell has seen a bit of development in his position. He started off his career as a big deep threat, taking advantage of his big frame and big ups. and now spends a lot of time in the handler space. Stacey
Looking
immediately looking
deep.
deep to Rob Andrews.
And he
Albie
gets
Evans in
up,
hot
huge.
pursuit.
Oh,
Does just enough to force it to come off the fingertips of Andrews.
that's right. Looks like a horror stack from Juggernaut. Looks a little bit messy. Overhead comes off. Big hammer, fingertips to that. Completion anyway. Pretty close to the end zone now. Poach called it from the end zone. Thorough didn't like it. Maroney on disc now. Looking end zone. Probably going to reset that. There's a swing. And, oh!
Great
Jeez,
backup
that's a
effort by James
great
Evans.
grab. He looks a little bit winded. I'd say it's worth it.
Yeah, great grab by him there. Huge layout. Great heads-up play to see that happening as well. We can see it develop here. The backhand maybe catches a little bit more air under the front lip than the thrower had hoped. But James Evans peels off the back of the stack.
Picks up the scraps.
Picks up the
Scores
scraps
for his
the goal.
team.
And that's going to bring it to 8-4 to
He
Colony.
looks winded, but he looks quite pleased.
8-5 to Colony. Apologies.
Nice, Max. It's all good. We're on top of it. So, Juggernaut now coming out on defense.
Steve Trey, boys!
Colony on offense again.
All right. Juggernaut is all fired up. Chasing down that pool.
Stacey
First
will
throw.
receive. Goes to Connell.
Oh,
Fakes the big forehand. Instead swings to Andrews.
they've got a bit of a zone going on.
Andrews reaches for the around forehand, but doesn't come out as nice as he would have liked.
A great opportunity for Juggernaut.
Falls short of the mark, and it's a short field turn. And as Angie says, it's a great chance for Juggernaut to get an easy break.
Wise on disc. Maroney's standing back. Ashcroft, front of stack. Lovely. That's a goal.
8-6. Melbourne Juggernaut not willing to roll over just yet, saying this is still a game, this is still a fight. Colony will have to respond now and lift their intensity. Andrews looked a little bit too casual with that swing before. They'll have to dial it in a little bit. So we see a similar 7 out on the line again for Colony.
That's right. And as you see in the replay, that was a great cutting from Juggernaut for another goal.
We've got Stacey, Foe, Connell, McCabe, Andrews, and more.
We've got about half an hour left of this game. The sun is starting to set, should be down about an hour, so hopefully we get to see a glorious Canberra sunset as the day of games winds down. It has been pointed out to me that the sun is behind us, but the players at the fields will still see the sunset.
As
All
the
right.
pool goes up, Colony
Juggernaut chasing that pool.
are on offense.
89, making it all the way down for the first throw. He doesn't want any of that.
Nathan Stacey with the disc. Big swing to Rob Andrews on the far sideline.
Bit of a zone being set.
Connell popping through the cup.
Bit
Scoobers
overhead.
back over to Stacey. Stacey looking for an option that he likes. Goes to Vo. Shoots back to the Stacey. Goes to Andrews. Andrews
Probably
holds
looking-
up, surveys the options.
Pretty high stall count there, probably.
Vo gets to Stacey, back. Stacey goes around to Connell. Connell goes back into the center to Andrews. Back to Connell. Connell goes
Another
over the top to
overhead.
Stacey.
They'll just keep chipping it around and swinging all day.
Overhead again to Connell. Back across the field to Andrews. A group of pretty strong throwers here.
It's not that windy, so those overheads look quite comfortable. Ashcroft's in the middle of the field, making himself a threat, making those overheads into the center field a lot less appealing. He's doing a good job.
With the disc. Back to Connell in the center.
Big
Hannah's
overhead.
to Moore.
Ashcroft streaking
Finally
deep to
making
cover
some
that.
ground. Goes to Andrews. McCabe hustling deep. Andrews content to hold it up. Slow things down again.
He's looking overhead. There's the
The cheeky
high
high release
release.
forehand. Seen that before.
oh,
Connell
there
a
it
little
is.
too casual perhaps with his scuba.
There it is.
And Stacey can't quite get there to reel it in. This is an opportunity for Melbourne Juggernaut.
Juggernaut playing a great zone to get that turn. Couldn't quite convert it. They've got a chance to show us some good zone defense again.
And Colin to get another chance to beat it. Stacey will walk it up.
Maroney
Immediately
guarding that
goes the
backfield.
scuba again to on the far sideline.
Hey, stretch him, Aiden. Provide that big deep option. There you go. That's it.
It's with Andrews now. Back to Ewing on the sideline.
Stretch him. Stretch him.
He's trying to
Connell,
break through.
Andrews, Vo,
Oh.
Andrews.
They almost did it. They're almost through.
Picking up the tempo now, which is nice. Andrews
There
goes
it is.
over the top to Moore. Moore will go to Vo. And Vo,
Oh.
reaching for McCabe. Ashcroft
Ashcroft.
just too quick through the center. Gets the intercept.
Lovely. Great defense from Juggernaut, earning them another shot at a goal. Looking big to the other side of the field to Maroney, who spikes it with his foot.
And there you have it. That's 3 breaks in a row, I think, for Melbourne Juggernaut.
That's right, great goal. I think Colony has just signaled that they would like a timeout. Juggernaut is looking quite pleased. They
Yep.
definitely earned a bit of a break.
Colony just using this timeout as a chance to reset, break up the Melbourne Juggernaut momentum that they've got in the last couple of points. They'll be looking to resettle, find their offensive flow from the first half that was so devastating, and possibly ramp back up their defensive intensity as well that got them so many turns in the first half. Melbourne Juggernaut, on the other hand, will be just wanting to continue what we've seen for the last few points. Some high-intensity defense,
That's
followed
right.
by hopefully clinical offense.
Them pulling out a bit of a junky zone was a great idea just to break up Colony's momentum, earning them a few breaks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was a really smart tactical decision by Melbourne Juggernaut. They brought out the zone and it's immediately delivered some breaks for them. Colony struggling to find a way through it. What do you think they need to do to beat it, Angie?
I'm not really sure there's too much they should do aside from maybe, I don't know, focusing in a little bit. They're a great team. They've got great players. Early in the game, they came up firing. They just need to get it back.
Yep. Just minimise the silly mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
They've looked pretty deadly, moving it quickly through the zone, and they've seemed to have more trouble when they've slowed it down. So look for them to try and keep that pace and tempo high.
That's
move
right.
the disc quickly, not allow the cup to really set and clamp down.
That's right. And sometimes some teams will punish you quite hard when you make a small mistake. And I think Colony knows that, and they will definitely adapt and try and punch in those goals.
All right, Colony coming out on offense after this timeout. Rob Andrews, Thomas Vo, Rory Connell, Yuang Gav Moore, and Sean O'Mahony and Nathan Stacey on the line. The other end of the field, we've got Melbourne Juggernaut on defense. Lachlan Wise set to pull. See if they can continue their defensive run or if Colony can put a stop to it. Punch this one in this afternoon setting sun.
They've had a bit of a timeout, so let's see what Colony will do to respond. Big pull from Wise.
Stacey set to pick up. Immediately centers to
Another zony look from Juggernaut.
Finds immediately goes back to Andrews looking for the quick give and go up line, but Andrews isn't interested.
He's looking to chip it around, but it's so clogged. He's having trouble
Struggling to
getting
get
that
the
disc
reset out. Eventually gets it to Colony looking quite stagnant as Melbourne Juggernaut transition into a match defense.
I think that was a violation call. He put two. I think he put two arms up. It might be a marking infraction or something of the sort. Pretty common to happen when you play a tight zone wall.
And we're back in, immediately finding Sean O'Mahony up the line. Vo provides an outlet for the reset.
Looks like they've gone to match.
And then Andrews coming underneath. You can tell Plunder a lot more comfortable playing against a match defense than they are against the zone. Andrews gets the dump, immediately swings it wide to on the break side of the field. It's Connell coming under. Plenty of space to work in now.
Pick cold. Pick cold from the stack. This back in.
Connell surveys the options. Not a lot happening out of the stack. Looking pretty stagnant. Eventually lofts an outside in forehand towards Gav Moore, who goes upstairs and snags it over Lockie Wise. Though a lot of it looks pretty still.
I think that was a call. Not too much skating, so that might be an indication.
Yeah, unclear what the call was and why it'll come back, but clearly it does. And we'll go back to Connell. Gav Moore showing his aerial prowess there. He's a great release valve for pressure. Connell uses his length, breaks the mark immediately, Finds in the front corner of the end zone. And
So
Sydney Colony consolidate 9-7.
So that'll be 9-7 to Colony now.
You can see Juggernaut walking around with 4 fingers in the air. There's been a lot of rumours over the years what these fingers mean. But let's just be honest, it's the number of breaks they got in a row. 9-7 to Colony. We get another look at it. Connell's beautiful around backhand using his length. A nice low wide release to Houses in the front of the end zone. Number 66. Here we get another look at the first iteration of that throw. Connell's outside in forehand. Gav Moore and Lockie Wise both going up, but Gav Moore managing to rip it down. And now Colony get to play some defense. Let's see if they follow Melbourne Juggernaut's lead and play a bit more zone now.
All right, pull goes up. Bit of an outside in pull. Loads of time for everyone to come and set up their defense. Wise on disc. Overhead. Lovely movement. Ashcroft on disc. Looking end zone for a goal.
Colony not able to put a whole lot of pressure on that point. Melbourne Juggernaut move it nicely up the field.
So
and find what they're looking for.
9-8 to Colony.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight one. Let's get another look at it. Colony on offense. Pretty similar offensive line that we've seen for the last few points from them.
Yep. Ashcroft and Moroney spending a bit of time on both O&D lines.
Stacey centers to And
Bit of a zony look again.
yeah, no surprises. Juggernaut persisting with this zone. It's been pretty effective.
Yep.
Vo to Connell. Goes over the top to Andrews.
Bit more of the traditional three-man cup.
Andrews swings to Stacey.
Yeah.
Stacey hammers to Andrews. Stacey looks to get through the cup.
Looking to be really patient with their options, despite the pressure.
Stacey up line to Vo. Crossfield blade to Andrews. To Stacey. Up line again to Vo. Back to Stacey. Popping
Smiling
through there.
up.
Hammers to the end zone
Oh.
to Moore. Nicely done there.
Nicely
Nice
done.
adjustment by the Colony handlers after they've struggled for a few points against that zone.
Definitely. And they had Moroney camped out in the end zone as well, posing as a threat, but they worked all the way in.
Stacey able to pick out his receiver and hit him with their hammer. Colony looking to move it a little bit earlier at that point and keep the disc moving, and it proved really effective. So they're able to move it with plenty of low risk passes up the field.
Let's go, boys! Let's go, boys! Get him the block. Get him the block.
Alrighty. Juggernaut coming out on offense.
Let's go, Pillage! Let's see it, Dave! Get me first pass, lay out! Go, 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 go!
Norton with the big pull.
Juggernaut looking for a deep option. Well, they swing. Juggernaut working really hard. Looks like a pick call. Upfield.
Oh, shit! I just had no idea what was going on.
Break run around. Some very quick movement. He's looking break side. Oh, it's a huge grab from Wise for another goal. 10-9 to Colony.
Let's go, Pillage!
As we see this again. Fake on the inside, and then gets the nice around forehand, breaking the mark and getting the goal. It's not an easy throw, but they get it out nicely. It's been a great comeback by Juggernaut. They trailed by 4, I think, at half-time. 4 or 5 at half-time. And they've really pulled it out back to make this a real tight game.
Yeah, definitely.
So credit to them so far. It's a real test of Colony's mental resilience to see if they can respond. So playing a bit more offense. Wise with the pull. And Stacey will receive it. Finds Andrews. Andrews looking to do a lot of handling.
Again, a bit of a zone from Juggernaut.
To Vo. Vo back to Swings to Andrews.
Oh, got a hand to it.
Oh.
Great hands.
Reaches for
Great
Gav Moore.
grab.
Defender gets just a touch on it. Moore does a great job adjusting and then snagging it out of the air with his right hand. Andrews has it back. Breaks the mark to Connell.
Definitely not wasting that great effort.
Again, almost a miscommunication and a great
an
effort by
overhead.
Connell to take the grab. Yuang now. To Andrews. The inside backhand finds Ng. Back to Andrews.
Colony calling their players to spread their offense a bit wider to generate more options.
Connell popping through the cup. Nice around forehand. Low wide release. Gets the swing across the field to Vo. Vo back to Ng.
Looking for throw through the cup.
Andrews. Colony being very patient here. Dump swinging. Looking for the holes to open up. Scoop over the top to Ng. Finds a hole through the cup to Vo.
Great shot.
And immediately the call goes out. Easy, easy, easy. As Colony wants to hold it up again. Slow down and take good options. Andrews breaks the mark to Ng. Ng immediately goes back to Andrews on that sideline. Andrews back to Ng. Maybe he looks to swing this time. Take advantage of the full width of the field. But no. Keeps it jammed up on the sideline. Scuba's over the top to Moore. And Moore swings it to Stacey. And Colony will change the angle. I like that.
That's right.
Moore looking to give go, find his way through the defense.
Open up that field completely. Juggernaut's trying to flood their offense. That
Vo
wall.
goes back to Stacey. To Moore.
They're being so patient.
To Andrews for the goal.
And it pays off.
Really nice patience. And you saw there, they were stagnating a little bit on that sideline. Moore came back, injected himself into the play, and then got almost every second pass until the goal.
Some great offense. Very patient.
And he picked up the pace of the play as well, the tempo. We see it now. The quicker movement, allowing them to open up a little bit more space. And that's the goal.
Awesome. Less than 10 minutes of the game to go, just about. So let's see if Juggernaut can close that gap.
Reece Stewart set to pull for Colony. He was one of Mammoth's and Firestorm's pullers back in the day, so he's very experienced in this department. Melbourne Juggernaut signaling they're ready with a raised hand. Colony almost ready to respond now.
Alrighty, ready to go. Pull goes up. That's in. Just match defense from Colony. Colony is the thrower. Trying to force him backwards. Gets a nice gainer. Looking big. Went up a little bit early, but calls a foul.
Colour blue goes up very early.
Calls a foul on that.
Almost seems to ride on Stewart's shoulders and then calls the foul. So we get another look at it. Ash Evans gets the under, immediately turns and shoots.
The option was there. He just
Too much hang time.
went up a little too early for that. He had reasonable position on that.
And it looks like the call was retracted and the turnover will stand.
Yep. Turnover will stand.
good outcome there, I think. Will Norton walks to pick up the disc. And Plunder again playing dumpless offense.
That's right. And just match defense from Juggernaut.
Sebastian Hardy in the lane. Looking to get the break throw, but
great grab.
Eventually goes to Black on the open side.
He's looking for a deeper option.
O'Mahony.
Oh, he wanted to throw that. Norton.
On the sideline.
Beautiful swinging. Lovely throw.
Gets Reese. Stewart
Great
on the
offense.
inside throw. Finds Moore. Front corner of the end zone.
That's some good looking offense. Colony definitely not wanting to give up this game. Here's a replay. Swing and another swing.
Stewart taking control, getting the inside dump.
Great throw.
Finds Moore at the front of the end zone. And that's 12-9.
They're doing
to
well.
Colony.
Doing well.
And that's the lead back out to 3. We've got just under 4 minutes to go. And then when time cap does go, it'll be finished that point. Add 1 to the highest score and we'll play to that as the new target. Colony going to play some more defense here. Will Norton set to pull.
That's right.
Rob Andrews on the field.
Juggernauts already.
Hasn't taken a lot of subs this game.
Big pull. They're chasing that down. Putting pressure on the very first throw. Oh.
Hand block by
Hand block.
O'Mahony. Gets a big chunk of it and it flutters to the ground. Norton runs, picks it up, and hits Mahoney in the end zone. That's bookends. And O'Mahony takes it to 13-9.
Definitely not shy about punishing those turnovers.
Absolutely. And a 4-point lead this late in the game. May prove a little bit too much, but we'll see if Juggernaut can overcome it.
We're pretty close to time caps, so it looks like a pretty convincing lead there.
We see here Mahoney gets a chunk of it, and it flutters short of the intended target.
All right, looks like Juggernaut's ready to go. Credit to them, they've done a really good job of coming back in this game. Taking it to Colony. Colony looking to come out firing on defense.
Connell launches the pull.
And, Wise working hard. Ashcroft on disc, looking big, doesn't take the option. Great hands. Great grab. Great recovery.
And that's time cap. So we'll finish
Time
this
cap
point
has just gone.
and add 1 to the highest score and play to that. So if they score, it'll be 10. It'll be 13-10 game from 14.
Up the line throw, great bid from Colony. An overhead to Wise. And throws it to Ashcroft for a goal. Comments from the sideline calling that a filthy play. We'll let you decide.
The two future Crocs connecting there.
That's right.
Both Brendan Ashcroft and Lockie Wise recently selected on the Australian World Games team, set to play in Wrocław, Poland later this year. And they'll also be playing in the middle of May. We've got 2 international test matches recently ratified by WFDF. The first ever international test matches to be played will be played.
Fantastic. And where
the
can we
19th
watch?
of May. I'm glad you asked, Angie. The 19th of May in Sydney and the 21st of May in Melbourne.
Awesome.
They'll be playing against the Japanese World Games team, and it's a really great opportunity to see the best and highest quality of Ultimate here on home turf. So we'd really encourage you to get onto the AFTA website or Facebook, find out all the details and buy yourself a ticket so you can come along.
Awesome. Great plug, Max. Alrighty.
So it's game to 14.
Game to 14. Juggernaut definitely not giving up without a fight, so still got time to make a comeback. Colony on offense.
Colony offensive line here. We've got Gav Moore, Aidan McCabe, Rob Andrews, Ewan, Nathan Stacey, Thomas Vo, and Rory Connell. Stacey picks up and centers to Juggernaut
Zone again.
sticking to their zone. That's brought them some success.
It's been quite effective, so not a bad plan.
Andrews goes to Vo. Vo finds the swing to who launches. Looking for more. Moore's got the pace. And that's it,
That's a
ladies
great
and gentlemen.
look.
That's game.
That's game.
14-10. Colony Plunder get up over Melbourne Juggernaut
Great effort from Juggernaut.
to bring it back. Absolutely. I think we saw 3 real distinct phases in this game. The start where Colony were just too good, got out to a hot start. And as Angie said, Melbourne Juggernaut put in a huge effort and really tightened things up coming out of half. Went on a 4 or 5 point run. Very impressive. And then Colony responded late in the game to get a couple. Overall, pretty high quality stuff and an excellent game to watch.
So I think that's a wrap for the whole day of Ultimate. We'll be back tomorrow morning with some of the ladies' games. I think our local women's team is going to be playing, so definitely tune in. This is Max and Angie signing off, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you next time.